78% of women have experienced sexual harassment in public spaces.
An inappropriate gesture.
We see it happen, but stay cautiously silent and uncomfortably look away.
Assalamu alaikum. We are the students of Bahariya University. I'm Isha Khan and this is Maira Rashid. Today we are going to conduct an interview on the topic that if Me Too movement is a good thing. Me Too movement is a social movement against sexual harassment and assault which gained popularity in 2017. It had started when men and women started sharing their experiences on social media by using the hashtag #MeToo and sharing their experiences. It especially gained popularity by the entertainment industry. This movement highlights the widespread nature of sexual misconduct and aims to empower the survivors to speak out and for their accountability and systematic change. The term was originally coined by the social activist Tarana Burke in 2006 and to support the survivors of sexual harassment. Today we are going to explore that whether Me Too movement has a good impact, or we are going to hear different perspective that Me Too movement had an influence or not in our society. Thank you. Today I'm here with Ayman Aurangzeb, who supports Me Too movement very actively. Thank you, Ayman, for joining us and giving us your precious time. My question is that how do you think that Me Too movement has changed the way we talk about sexual harassment and assault in our society?
Okay, so I feel like this Me Too program has helped a lot of people and has raised a lot of awareness about sexual harassment and abuse. Earlier, this wasn't normal. It wasn't easy for women to talk about such issues. Many women were very reluctant to share the stories. But due to this movement, many women have gained confidence and now it's easier for them to talk about these issues. And many schools have employed better rules about this and for their students' safety. And many women feel it easier for them. It's easier for them to talk about these issues now. And so this movement has brought about a lot of changes in society and it has helped many gain confidence.
I'm here joined with Miss Namira Mirza, who used to follow Me Too movement very carefully. Thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about the very first question. I'd like to ask you about the celebrity influence on Me Too movement. Do you think that the Me Too movement has a celebrity bias, focusing more on the high-profile cases while ignoring everyday experiences faced by countless young women? Me Too movement that highlights celebrity cases while ignoring the actual suppressors and harassers who deal with harassment every day. It's hard to see how rich use their power and suppress these people who are harassed every day. I faced threats as well when I supported and raised my voice for them, and it's really hard. And even though they are supported by advocates and activities, they still feel compelled to take their cases back because of the threats they are faced by the rich people and people who have their power. I refuse to be a part of that system that dismisses their pain and don't pay attention to their problems. That is why I left also, and but I will continue this fight outside of that environment where my voice and my power will be listened, heard, and seen, and where I can truly advocate for right.
Today I'm here with Sir Shiroz Barani, who is the manager of Bahariya Student Support Center. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to interview with us today. My question is that do you think that Me Too movement has been portraying men as predators by default by disproportionately targeting them as a predator and making them uncomfortable enough to mentor or even work closely with women in a workplace environment? What's your opinion on that?
What said was something very different that today in the current time it becomes. It was not the same seed that it's being bored in the land, and now the tree is cultivating another fruit. To create this discomfort, they started this movement. They started these things as their own source tools to make a brain sort of idea, and passion towards the work environment has been changed. And you see internationally, the source of family and the things that which we follow, they don't like it. Starting this movement was to distract the community, distract the youth from those or the principles on all the norms that we had. This is how they are trying to destroy our families. They are destroying the phenomena. They have started building this phenomena to have distraction between those genders, but now they are mixing it to create the clash. Eventually you will see the family system, the core family system that we had in the past, is now destroyed just because of this thing. They both gender are working same in the same organization. They both have a right. Both have a merit to work with, but they are not still in the same way. They are not cultivating in the same way. Nourishing is not in the same way. Development is not in the same way.
Thank you all for joining us today. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Saribad, a senior faculty of Beria University. Thank you for your time and insights on such an important topic. I'd like to ask you, how do you reconcile with the fact that Islam also advocates for women's right and protection of their dignity, basically aligning with the Me Too movement's objectives, yet the Me Too movement is considered un-Islamic or as a Western propaganda in many Muslim states?
Thank you for inviting me here. Okay, it's a very good question and a very important point that you have raised. We must understand the purpose behind the Me Too movement, and that is because within some Islamic countries, there are cultures they are not practicing the typical Islamic teachings, and what happens is that the freedom of speech sometimes is misused, so it is curbed within those Islamic countries. Over here, if we consider about the subcontinent, including the India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Saudi Arabia, especially Middle Eastern countries, UAE, including Egypt. So the Me Too is considered a taboo over here, while the Islam practically, if it is implemented, it allows the safety and dignity of the woman to be progressed. So what I personally believe that unless we understand Islam properly, we would not be able to understand the purpose of Me Too
Speaking
movement
of
as well.
shifts in focus, there has been an ongoing concern going on the narrative, and Me Too movement has switched from protecting women's right and justice to promoting promiscuity and moral decay. What are your thoughts on this? Unfortunately, the narrative around the Me Too movement has changed in some parts of Pakistan because women has created a false sense of empowerment. When high profile cases overshadow movement's original movement, it leads into the stereotype that women are using Me Too as a weapon and as a shield for their irresponsible behavior rather than a legitimate avenue for seeking justice. This not only reduces the actual concern, the genuine victims, but also it created a false sense of empowerment in which it shows that women are blaming their own victimization. Uh, the core message of Me Too movement is to create a safer environment for women and to deliver them equal rights as men are given in the society.
My another question is that some critics argue that Me Too movement has gone too far, labeling it as a witch hunt, and they are saying that Me Too movement has shifted their entire focus from supporting victim to settle personal grudges or gaining public attention rather than purely advocate for justice. What do you think about that?
Yes, I truly second your point that now this issue has gained certain personal references on what they tried to do in the initial, but changes the agenda. Now they have taken it as a tool to market their things. Personal grudges is also one of the things that they want. Before that, these kind of issues not roaming around the society very frequently, but now they don't have any sort of I think is what's the victim is going through, what things are going to be happen after the post environmental screens, but they just want to do it for their own proper agenda, overcome, to gain something from the society. It's completely personal now. It's not a societal war of thing. It's a completely personal sort of war that they have started in this society. And I really sometimes fear that if these things are going to be floated in this way, victims are not going to gain anything, but they are going to gain so much. They just want their own agenda to be fulfilled. That's it. Thank you.
All right. My another question is that have you noticed any changes in workplace policies or cultural impacts since the rise of Me Too movement, or is it just performative? Or do you have any personal experiences about that?
I feel the change has been brought. Um, Earlier, schools and organizations didn't have many rules against this harassment and abuse, and there wasn't much awareness. But due to this movement, we have more awareness, and schools and organizations have employed strict rules for protection of the employees and students. And personally, I haven't really faced any experience as such, but I have seen people around me face harassment in workplaces, and I have seen that this is taken very seriously nowadays. If you complain about any issue, the organization takes strict action against the person and they warn the person. So organizations are very concerned about women's safety nowadays, which is actually really good. So this movement has really helped a
I'd like
lot.
to ask you the future of Me Too movement. How do you see the Me Too movement evolving in the next few years? Do you think that it is creating a culture of accountability, or is it just a trend that will fade over time?
The culture which Me Too movement has developed, I say it must progress. Has made, has allowed a lot of companies, a lot of industries to develop themselves to provide protection to women. In Pakistan, if I would say, what we have been through and what we are seeing, that it should not just limit to the woman harassment and the safety for the Me Too movement. I would say everybody should get a chance to express themselves, because you know about the law and order situation in Pakistan, you know about the justice system in Pakistan. The justice delayed is known as the justice not provided. So what I would say that we may be able to get the information passed on to the authorities so that the action should be taken accordingly.
I'd like to reflect on a powerful sentiment by H.L. Mencken in his book Mencken's Christomathy, in which he said, "Damn if he does, damn if he does not," which perfectly resonates with the Me Too movement on how victims are criticized for staying quiet and letting it persist, and are also criticized for speaking about it. Just as how we showed you in the video, the yins and yangs of the Me Too movement, on how the supporters are supporting this movement, saying that these type of movements are very important for promoting justice and protecting women's rights. Critics are arguing that such movements are brainwashing the young minds. It is very clear after surveying through various people that Me Too movement is a good thing if only applied thoughtfully and responsibly. This has been Maira Rashid and Isha Khan this whole time, showing you guys the ongoing debates on the Me Too movement. Let's see how the story unfolds in the future. Remember, empowerment without action is just noise. It's time to turn that noise into action.